Everyone knows a lot about sex.
Gay people exist.
No one knew how lesbians had sex. I don't even think we talked about masturbation.
I watched a video of a cartoon girl getting herself off.
Is this what you want to give to your husband? And throws it on the ground. So Hannah, what we really want to know is, where do you see sex education going?
Obviously, I've not been in a school in so long.
Right.
So I don't actually know if it's changed or whatever, but this is a good thing. I've had teachers from my secondary school contact me being like, will you come in and do a class on sex ed? That's a good step. Like,
Sure.
the fact that they're like, we want Hannah to come in, like, because someone who's like closer in age to the kids and also like is sex positive.
Well, what do you think would be an ideal situation for youth growing up right now that would really give them a full sense that they're educated on sex in their, mid to late teens?
To be honest, like, I genuinely think that the education needs to start like early. What I would love to see is like, from the moment you start school, classes about respect, classes about consent,
Yes.
classes about
yes.
what a healthy relationship looks like, and what an unhealthy relationship looks like. This doesn't mean I'm asking 5-year-olds to be like, will you have sex with me? No. It's about, do you want a hug?
Yes.
Like,
Sure.
do you know what I mean?
Make it appropriate to the age,
Yeah.
obviously.
It could be like,
Right.
hey Ashley, like, you seem pretty down. Are you okay? Do you want a hug?
I think I'm feeling like I would like a hug.
Okay, you can get a hug. That's cool.
I like that.
Some people don't like being touched. Some
Right.
people, you know.
Sure, yeah, definitely. Even like in the situation that we're at VidCon, I mean, I think there's a lot of people that don't feel comfortable with physical touch.
Well, I had a meetup earlier, and I know that people are sometimes quite shy after having a conversation with them. So I would always like ask them, like, do you want a selfie? Do you want a hug?
Yeah.
And some of them would be like, no. And I'm like,
Great. That's
Cool.
fine.
Yeah.
You don't be like, oh, okay. I love like showing examples of healthy relationships. Also, I think
and not just romantic or sexual relationships, like family relationships,
Yes.
Friendships, yes.
and also showing like in juxtaposition examples of unhealthy relationships, because unless you see it, you don't quite know.
like coercion, manipulation. I
difference.
was having a discussion the other day with some people about what is the difference between seduction and coercion.
And that's a
Oh, it was so interesting.
right.
Yeah.
And
That's an entirely different video.
Isn't it interesting that like you had an interesting conversation about seduction versus coercion, and you were older people?
Yeah.
Like still
Like, why isn't that happening?
right at
like,
a younger age?
At a younger age, before you're sexually active.
Right, like, you still-
It is not enough
Right.
to be like, oh, they're sexually active now, let's talk about it. No, it needs to be happening before.
I like it.
Yep.
Yes,
just
thank
in.
you. No, it's really interesting that like even at your age and even with your knowledge, still are like contemplating and thinking and debating.
I was like, what is the difference?
right, exactly.
Do you want to know what I came up with?
Yeah, I would like
Yes.
to know.
Is that seduction is a two-way thing. You're seducing each other. Coercion
Right.
is one way.
Yeah,
Sure,
that is
that makes
That's
sense.
what I think.
I love that you said like healthy relationships versus unhealthy relationships. I love that you said consent. I never heard the word consent.
No,
But then also,
never.
are you about to say LGBT?
I am.
Yeah.
I am gonna
That's
say.
what I was going for. Yeah.
We need to learn about the ways that LGBTQ couples have sex.
It's
because
just so heteronormative
Sure.
and cisnormative.
it is so heteronormative, cisnormative, and the only way I learned those things was through my friends. And my friends,
I learned them on YouTube and Tumblr.
Yeah.
and my friends didn't know what they were talking about.
Some of my friends still don't. I just think it's so important to also not only focus, obviously on sex education, but also gender. And,
Yes.
Because I think a lot of people, especially like in high school, feel very, very lost in their identity.
Right.
So I think that if there was some type of education
Yeah.
and, at least just information,
Yeah.
and that could potentially help so many people in those really, really hard years.
Yeah.
So I think that would be really, really valuable.
And then one more thing, because we spent the whole video talking about sex, and then in this whole video talking about sex, I imagine that there's a group of people feel isolated who are asexual.
Oh, yes!
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 Or aromantic.
Well done.
Or aromantic.
Yes.
Yes.
So I really feel like it's important that like that's a portion of sex education that it's like if none of this clicks to you, if you don't feel these like compulsions, you might be asexual, and that's fine and that's normal.
And that's
like,
good for you.
That's good. This is who you
I
are.
had no idea asexuality existed until like starting talking about sex online. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
So there's a lot, and we've probably talked for a very long time about all the things we talk about in sexual education, and there's probably still things we're missing. So the comment question of the day is, because I'm sure there are, what are things we're missing?
what would your ideal sex education be?
Please tell us in the comments. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, bye! Yeah, it's a core. He said, is this what you want to give to your husband? And throws it on the ground.
Hey everyone, it feels a little weird but so good to be back in the swing of YouTube things. And